Nearly 3 million acres of farmland in 3 southern states have been inundated by floodwaters from the mighty Mississippi River and its smaller tributaries. Although economists say it's too early to tell how much damage is being inflicted, some estimate damages could go as high as $4 billion. Agricultural losses in the state of Mississippi alone, including grain and catfish farms, could hit $800 million, according to the Mississippi Farm Bureau. President Obama on Wednesday declared a major portion of the Magnolia State a disaster area, announcing federal aid to 14 counties. The river is forecast to crest at Vicksburg late next week at 57.5 feet, surpassing the 1927 record by more than a foot. Most of the city sits on a steep bluff overlooking the river, safe from floodwaters. But in the low-lying areas nearby, the mighty Mississippi has flooded hundreds of homes, barns, and farm fields. Private sector and government engineers are working on flood walls around vulnerable sections of the riverfront. Major General Michael Walsh of the Army Corps of Engineers is in charge of the Mississippi River from Canada to the Gulf.
Well, this was designed after the 27 flood legislation came into effect in 28 to put something like this in place. The nation invested about $13 billion to put these reservoirs, floodways, and levees into place. And it was designed for this level of flood, but we never really expected to get this much water into the system. And certainly this is an epic, immense amount of water. I just flew over the Ohio and the Missouri about a week ago, and there's water in places that we've never seen it before.
Swollen by weeks of heavy rain and snowmelt, the Mississippi River has been breaking high water records that have stood since the 1920s and 30s. The crest is expected to reach New Orleans near the end of the month. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal told residents earlier this week they should hope for the best, but prepare for the worst.
We've all lived through Katrina. We've seen systems that were supposed to work that didn't work, so it's good to get ready for that. It is absolutely responsible to get ready for that.
For some good news, dry and warmer weather finally arrived in the Corn Belt, giving farmers the chance to plant. Although not optimal in all areas, better conditions allowed for long hours in the field. According to USDA's weekly crop progress report, 40% of the nation's corn has been planted. This compares to 80% 1 year ago. Improving immensely since last week, 69% of Iowa's corn acreage has been planted, behind last year's 92%, but equal to the 5-year average. The 61 percentage point single-week increase for the nation's #1 corn producer is the largest since 1992. Only 7% of the nation's soybean crop has been planted, compared to 28% at this time last year. And U.S. winter wheat is struggling as well. In May of 2010, 66% of the crop was in good to excellent condition, but this year that number has been cut in half to only 33%. Rice planting also is behind, and farmers fear crops could be destroyed by flooding from the Mississippi River. Only 54% of the rice crop has been planted, while 83% was in the field 1 year ago.